FM, and you're listening to Atia Lokat, the founder and CEO of Zubeda. Welcome. And it is a bright early morning here in London, and I am going to be your host for today. We will be talking about refugee and asylum seekers' experiences here in the UK, and we will be joined by two amazing guests as well. Now, just a little bit about Zubeda Welcome and who we are. It is an award winning national registered charity. We teach Quran to refugees and asylum seekers all across the UK to help them retain their Muslim identity. And I'm also the a children's author and a teacher and a counselor. And I also work for a Muslim foster care agency, Foster Care Link, as an advisor to help foster children retain their Muslim identity as well. And yeah, so this is we're going to be talking a little bit about the whole idea of the experiences that refugees and asylum seekers go through here in the UK and why we had to establish a charity that is focusing on Quran and helping them retain their identity and the success stories. Uh, so we're going to start with, we're just going to get right in there because we don't have a lot of time. We've got 45 minutes today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the guests that we're going to be joined with today. And do call in if you have got any questions. You can text them in to 077 488 55055. That's 077 488 55055. So if you have any questions, you can text them in or call in to 011 648 22086. 0116 4822086, and you can talk to us and ask the question yourself. Now, to tell you a little bit about our guests, we have got joining with us today with Sister Nisa, who is a Uyghur Muslim, and she's got two children that we have been supporting, alhamdulillah, for the last 2 years. We also have with us Sister Wafa, whose two children we have been supporting for several years, actually. She's one of our older families that we've been supporting, and her children, Nur and Yusuf, are doing amazingly well. So we're going to have these two amazing ladies who have been the rock for their family and empowering their children and investing so much of their own time and energy and commitment to help the children retain their Muslim identity and pass the legacy of their faith on to their children. Alhamdulillah. So we're going to start with inviting Sister Nisa. If you can, are you there? Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Nisa.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you this morning?
Alhamdulillah, it's so
Yeah.
bright, shiny.
Yeah. Did you also just have 2 hours of sleep like I did? I mean, I think most of us were up making the most of the 27th night.
I can say one.
Yeah. So, but Alhamdulillah, it was worth it. I stayed up until after Fajr, and so I've had about 2 hours of sleep. So if I am a little bit lagging and slow, please do forgive me, listeners. So Sister Nisa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nisa, and I'm a mother of two. They are Ali and Muhammad. And yeah, I'm a Uyghur Muslim who came from East Turkestan, occupied China. I came here to sorry.
Okay.
I have been living in the UK for 2 years now, and once I came here, the first thing I have been searching it was madrasa, after school madrasa, because the school, public school, is really easy to arrange, but all what I have been really worried about is whether my children can get the any Islamic education here or not. So
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm,
On a scale from 1 to 10,
mhm.
how fearful were you when you first arrived here that your children would not be able to retain their deen? You know, you probably got to know the community, the environment, and you saw that there were so many religions here in the UK, and
Mhm.
there's what they were learning at school, the friends they were meeting. And
Mm-hmm.
then what was happening inside you? There was there fear that they were not going to be able to retain their Muslim identity, or you weren't going to be able to pass on this education to their children? And if there was, from a scale of 1 to 10, how fearful were you?
I would say eight at that time,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew before I came here, I knew there are a lot of Muslims, more than 2 million Muslims in the
Yeah.
UK. But still, I also can see a lot of young generation,
Mm-hmm.
they are not really practicing Islam. So this
Yeah.
made me extremely worried about my children's future
Mm.
in religious side.
Mm.
So that's why I can say eight
Yeah.
if it's on the scale.
Yeah, and this is what we're getting from a lot of the parents, because that's one of the questions that we ask a lot our families, our parents, when they first join us, as how fearful they are that their children will lose their deen, and the numbers are really high when they start. And at the end, I will actually ask you how it is now, what on a scale of one to four. We'll save that for the end, inshallah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, how have your children, both your children, you have two amazing boys. I know them quite well. We know them personally now, actually, because we know you. You've been very involved with Zubeda Welcome. As soon as you joined us, you have been an outstanding volunteer
Mhm.
and supporting us in a lot of ways. And even you just coming in today, waking up early in the morning and joining us and supporting us has been really helpful. So, and then your children as well. I mean, any opportunities we've offered them, they have taken us up on it. So we have got to know them really well. In your words, how have Zubeda Welcome helped you? Like, what kind of support? Tell us a little bit about that. What kind of support has Zubeda Welcome offered your children?
Um, yeah, as I mentioned just now, the first thing I have been looking for is the after school madrasa, which is the Quran classes after school.
Yeah.
But at that time, I can say until half a year, I have been really struggling because we have to pay, and I had to pay for two children for
Yeah.
their two types of classes. So I was really struggling.
Mm,
And then one of our community members, she mentioned about Zubeda Welcome,
mhm,
and I immediately applied for that. And then after, since then, I have been getting the support from Zubeda Welcome. To be honest,
mm,
really, if you if we didn't get the support from Zubeda Welcome, I don't think I would continue their
mm.
madrasa education until now.
Yeah. Well,
And
alhamdulillah, we're so
also,
happy. Mm,
yeah, because as you said, while I have been volunteering, I also involved in many other like events or like picnic
mm,
programs.
yeah,
And
yeah.
in the meanwhile, of course, I always bring my children along with me,
Mm,
and I also learned a lot,
mm.
and especially the children also learned a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just, like if I can really relate to your experience, your journey in a way where, you came to a point in your life where you had to transform your life, you had to build new connect, like rebuild, right? So
Yes,
there was a
exactly.
time in my life, and I think it kind of happened when I was establishing Zbeda Welcome and it was growing so fast. And I needed to rebuild my life because there was a lot of changes that happened in my life. And
Hmm.
actually, even for me, putting myself out there and talking to people, networking is really what you're doing, right? Networking.
Yes,
You're building
yes,
those
exactly.
connections. And no matter where you are, or who you are, or what level you're at, or what your situation is, if you want to get something done and you're trying to grow and you're trying to build something, you
Hmm.
need to get out there and you need to network. And this is what I've seen along over the years of all of the families that we've supported. Alhamdulillah, we have now, have at about 500 children that we have actually registered over the years and
Hmm.
supported. And so you can imagine how many families, but the families who really stood out, who've actually had much more success, as in, the impact it's had on the whole family, are the families like yours and Wafas and many others, where they've actually got involved. They come to our picnics. The children are taking make the most of the opportunities we're offering because they're
Mhm.
networking and they're meeting people and they're learning about the opportunities for
Yes.
themselves as well. Alhamdulillah.
From
Yeah.
my sorry, from my background, like in our hometown, because it's everything about Islam was forbidden.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, my children couldn't get a chance to see themselves in the community.
Mm,
Why I wanted to teach them through after school madrasa, but not myself.
mm,
I want them to involve in a Muslim community.
yeah.
So I want them to feel this Islamic environment around
Mm,
them.
yeah. Yeah.
So as we Uyghurs,
Mm,
um, I think I I need to tell one thing about our Uyghur name
yeah. Yeah.
because it's always have been spelling or the saying wrongly by a
Yeah, I
lot of
know.
people.
Like myself. And you had
So
to
it's
correct me.
Uyghur.
Yeah.
Actually, in Uyghur language, we say Uyghur.
Yes.
GH
Okay.
refers to
Mm,
Ri, Uyghur. But because in English, there's no Ri sound, so
yeah.
we only can say Uyghur.
Right, right. Yes. So
Yeah.
weird. And I had to write down, I put it down with the W so I don't get it wrong this time. But and you've come from a place, a situation where you were forced to be less Muslim. And
Yes.
did you find that you came to this country and it was like the same? Did you ever feel pressure to seem less Muslim in the non-Muslim environment so that you can get some help or that you can be accepted? Did you ever feel pressure from the non-Muslim in space?
Um, to be honest, when I just came here, my old friends, they asked me, "How did you feel after you go to the UK?" I
Mm,
said, "The weather is cold. The people
mm,
are colder." Uh,
yeah,
because
beautiful.
it's the real,
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah,
But Alhamdulillah, after I joined the madrasa, especially I continually joined with the support of Zubeda Welcome, because I can go to the madrasa consistently,
yeah,
like every session, and I can
yes.
continue it for a longer time. So slowly we joined into many other communities, many other Muslim brothers and sisters
Mm,
here.
yeah, yeah.
So now I don't feel that alone, that cold.
Yeah. Yeah, alhamdulillah. And it's the whole sense of like I felt that when I moved to the UK and I didn't know much about the system and the environment here. And when I had children, I
Mhm,
actually picked up more information after I had my children here because now it was that playground mentality. When I dropped the kids, when I picked up the kids, I would speak to other parents. They would give me information about, what's in the environment, what they do for
mhm.
their children. And it was very useful to learn to it's a great place to find out information, useful information. So, and
Yes.
I think that was the same, and this is what I've seen over the years in the Muslim space, in the madrasas and the Muslim centers, where the parents are now dropping off and picking up their children. They're getting information, like even about their own medical degree or their own teaching degree or whatever it is that they needed support with.
Mhm.
How do I start my work here? Volunteer experiences, they talk about that. So it's been very, very, beneficial in that way as well. I think before we ask Sister Wafa to come and join us, did you have something to share? You said you were saying of your one of your kids. Did you want to play it now? Or
Oh, yes, yes.
yeah, okay, go
One of
for
my
it.
kids, he has been attending his class. So before he was also memorizing Quran,
Yeah,
but after he attended the Hifz class, I think his recitation became better.
yeah,
And
alhamdulillah.
so I just would like to share some of this, just very
Yeah.
short part of
It-
that.
Yeah. And
So,
just to mention that it was Zubeda Welcome that supported the extra education for his HIFs as well. We've supported
yes,
that as well as the public speaking
yes,
coaching
yes,
that he's applied to do with us, alhamdulillah. And so that's been really boosted his confidence, I think. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Okay,
exactly.
let's hear it. I'm looking
All
forward to
right.
this.
سنسمه على الخرطوم إنا بلوناهم كما بلونا أصحاب الجنة إذ أقسموا ليصبرنها مصبحين ولا يستثنون فطاف عليها طائف من ربك وهم نائمون
فأصبحت كالصريم فتنادوا مصبحين أن اغدوا إلى حرثكم إن كنتم صارمين وانطلقوا وهم يتخافتون ألا يدخلنك اليوم عليكم مسكين وغدوا على حرث قادرين فلما رأوها قالوا إنا لضالون بل نحن محرومون قال أوسطهم ألم أقل لكم لولا تكذبون
Yes.
Mashallah, that's amazing. And
This
I
is
should,
I
I should,
recorded it last night when they were praying Taraweeh. And
subhanallah.
what I have been doing is because he just finished the first 100 pages from
Yes,
Quran, all the memorization. So
mashallah.
throughout this Ramadan, I
Mm,
have just sitting there and led them to pray Taraweeh. And
yeah,
each rakah, he finished like 2 pages.
it's
So
amazing.
I'm fixing his mistakes.
It's really heartwarming to see and hear the impact that we're having as well, alhamdulillah. And you know, one thing I should mention, you know, he was actually finalist, one of the semi-finalists for a recent competition. I won't mention where because of privacy reasons, and unfortunately, he had to
Yes.
step down because you know, of the situation, and I know that. And I just want to mention that you know, he could have been a winner. We don't know. He could have been a
Yes,
winner, but
yes.
because of certain reasons, in terms of safety reasons, there
Mm-hmm.
are some limitations in your lives, even today. Like, even though
Yes,
you're free, there are some limitations, unfortunately. And I think a
unfortunately.
lot of people don't realize those challenges that you're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And you and many others like you and other different families have. It's a unique experience for everyone. So I'm just going to invite Sister Wafa if you could join us now. Sister Wafa is one of our old time parents. She has her family we've supported for many years, I believe maybe 2019, 2018, much longer. And Alhamdulillah, we've been supporting Noor and Yusuf. And recently we had Noor and Yusuf over at our house for lunch, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Wafa.
وعليكم السلام, Sister Atiya.
How are you today?
Sorry, I have a bit cold,
Oh, sorry
bad
to hear.
cold.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's an early morning, and hopefully we won't, keep you too long. But we just wanted to get a little bit of a sense of how the support has impacted you. So when you first arrived to this country, you're from Syria, aren't you? You're from Syria, and so you've been here many years longer than a lot of the families, because many of the Syrian refugees arrived here in 2015 onwards. And so what I wanted to ask you was, when you first arrived, from a scale of 1 to 10, how worried were you about your children's Islamic education and Muslim identity? Were you worried from 1 to 10?
Yes, yes, I was worried when we came here
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah. What would you say from a scale of 1 to 10? How worried were you?
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Um, like one is bit
No, no.
worried or
10 is
10?
10 is very worried.
Oh, 10. Okay. 7.
7, yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, a lot of people were worried. And I think a lot of people that we speak to, they say, well, they're worried, but because they themselves were practicing, they were still hoping that they can pass this on to their children themselves, but with limitations. They were very limited because it's not the same as putting them in a school setting. Now, tell us a little bit about. It was mostly Noor, because Noor's older. I mean, how have Zubeda Welcome supported your children?
The first time, like 4 years ago,
Yeah.
my daughter started Arabic school, and I was struggling about how to pay fees.
Mm,
That I asked my friend. She said there is Zubaida will come.
mm,
Sister Atiya can help you. I just applied for madrasa,
mm,
and you supported us from 4 years ago.
mm.
And my daughter now very good at Arabic, and she's memorizing Quran and This year,
Mm,
first time for Yusuf. Yusuf
mm,
is only 5 years old.
mashallah. Mm,
MashaAllah, his accent in Arabic is not very good.
mm,
That's why I applied for him very early to
mm,
school
mm,
for his speaking, for his memorizing Quran, because I was very, very, very worried about him
mm,
more than Noor, because he was born here and he don't speak lots of Arabic at home
mm,
as well.
mm.
Now his Arabic is very good. His accent, his
Mashallah.
yeah,
So
he's
for you it's
memorizing.
not it's for you it's the Quran as well as them learning Arabic because that's
Yes,
your mother tongue, that's your background. And so
yes,
and I hear that a lot from the Syrian most of the Arabic speaking families that they it's the Quran they want them to learn about Islam and about the religion and about the practices, but they also want them to retain their identity as a
yes,
yeah, as an Arab.
yes.
So this is really important to them. And so Alhamdulillah, I think this has been a very powerful point to put out there as well. And you, when you were we invited a few families to to my house actually for lunch a few weeks ago because Islam Channel wanted to do a story, and I had the opportunity to meet your beautiful children, and I saw just how confident they were, but not just them. I saw the confidence in you and how you
Yes,
have
of
changed
course. Yeah,
because I don't think I could have had a conversation with you even when you first started, right? When we first met
yeah.
you. But now you're here, you are live on radio. They were there speaking to
I
Islam
can't
Channel.
believe that because
Yeah.
first time uh, my language is not very, very good to understand everything,
Yeah.
to speak everything what I need.
Yeah.
But I think uh, I'm not very good, but I'm good now to
Yeah,
explain what.
mashallah, mashallah.
Yeah,
And I have to make that point is even over the years with all the families that we have worked with, we have seen it's the ones that are actually getting out and sending their children to madrasa, meeting the other parents, learning English, or who already know English. They're the ones that end up rebuilding their lives much more quickly, and there's hope instilled in them much more quickly because, people understand their needs. If you can't communicate what it is you need, then how will people help you, right?
yes,
So
of course. Yeah,
this is very important even for refugee and asylum seeker families who might be listening to this, people who have been listening to this, is when you arrive, the first thing you must try and do is get out there and speak to people and learn the language because then you can communicate what you need.
yes,
Communication is just, it's paramount, right? And then you can get the help. Even in
yes,
our own community, there might be lots of British Muslims who want to help you, but they don't know what it is you need, right? So it's very, very important to develop the language first. Um, and yeah, I mean, what were some of the challenges you faced when you first arrived? Did you have any challenges, any problems with the like did you ever feel like non-Muslims were making you feel make pressuring you to feel being less Muslim so that you can get help from them, like the church, for example?
um, sorry, I don't understand the questions very well.
So when you first arrived here, because I remember when I brought over 6 Syrian families through VPRS in 2017, 16, 17, when they first arrived, there were 6 families. They did get a lot of visits from all different agencies, including the church, but not very many visits from the Muslim community. So many of them did feel like they needed to fit in and be less Muslim, like go to the church, to their events,
Yes,
and whatnot. Did you get that when you first
yes, I
arrived?
get that.
Yeah,
Yes, I got
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
visiting from church,
yeah.
and when we came, we had a group uh,
Mm,
from church supported us when we came.
yeah,
English group.
yeah, yeah. And
I
that's
was
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
yes, and maybe Noor was only 2 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't speak Arabic or English, but she learned Arabic no, she speaks Arabic. She speaks English more than Arabic. That's why, and our language is not at all, not we didn't speak English at all.
Mm,
And I was very worried about her, about uh, her brothers, because I don't know. I think I thought, how can I understand my children, friends,
mm,
and what can they do, what can say, and I
yeah,
can't I can't imagine
yeah,
where they can put them.
yeah,
Maybe they will leave, or they lost their
yeah,
religion, or their identity.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, yeah. And and it's just we don't want to say that that's a wrong thing because when people are kind to you, you need that, right? So it's good. I think it's good that there are people being kind to refugees and asylum seekers when they arrive. But often what I saw is when there were visits from the church, and this is from reports that we have from other families, is that they did feel like they needed to fit in the church and visit the church to have that friendship. Sometimes they would have events, and eventually their friendships were non-Muslim, and so that was a problem because then when they were offered support, like they would want jobs, they would want to get finish their university degree or do a
Yeah,
course, and then it would be all offered from the church. So there's that sense of you owe them, you know, so you need to be more like them. And that
yeah,
was what we found from a lot. But what wasn't there when they arrived is the Muslim community doing the same thing, right?
yes,
And
yes,
there's a clear hadith that the most beloved to Allah are those who are beneficial to others, right? So why is that forgotten from us, from our communities? What I was wondering, and as Sister Nisa mentioned, that the country is cold, but the people are colder sometimes, and we have noticed, and it's not to say everybody's like this. We have, because we, Alhamdulillah, we are working with 52 mosques and madrasas across the whole of the UK, so there are, lots of kind people doing that and being beneficial to others and being kind to others, like the churches are. But I don't think there's enough awareness. People don't even know that you have this problem. And that's why I'm doing this radio show today, is we want to make sure that our Muslim community out there, all over the nation as well as the world, know that when you arrive here, you need them.
yes,
The help can't stop. You need them even more because now there's hope. There's a chance for you, right? You can
yes, of
actually
course.
you can
Yeah,
actually rebuild your lives again,
yeah,
if you got the
yeah,
right support. Why
of
leave
course.
you now when you have got this amazing opportunity to rebuild and start again and pass on the legacy of your family, of your faith, in this country? We don't want to leave you now. We want to help you, support you, empower you so that you can rebuild and pass this on, right? And so
Yes,
this is what our Muslim community need to realize, that you do get some support from the government. You do get a lot of support from the church, sometimes too much support from the church, right?
yes,
And
yes,
you get other kinds of support, but you need support from the Muslim community. We need to
of course.
unite.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. This is an issue for the whole of our ummah, and this is why
And
we need to. And
from
it's
my background, just a couple of years ago, in my back home. To be honest, I came from a quite rich family, but we never have thought about that we became refugee just
yeah, yeah,
after several years. So,
yeah,
so
and
it's really hard to adjust to have this
yes,
feeling. And
yes,
as a
yes,
mother of two and as a single mom
yeah,
who has lost all of my relative,
yeah,
all of the connection with my friends and the
yeah,
relative
yeah,
who is just living with my two children here. What I have been struggling was it's really hard for me to ask support,
yes,
really, because um, I cannot ask just directly, okay, I need this or I need that.
yes, yes.
And but at
But you
least
need people to reach out to you, which makes a huge difference, right?
yes,
If somebody
when I
offered you the
found.
support, it makes a huge difference.
Yes, when I've the other support, yes, as you said, because I came here through the home office,
Mm,
so they also support me. Of course, it's really not enough, especially after raising up all these prices all
mm, yeah,
over the country. It's really not easy.
yeah,
And
yeah,
in the meanwhile, I'm also working part time,
yeah,
still just for one person's income.
yeah,
Providing three people is not
yeah,
easy.
yeah,
So this madrasa, to be honest, with paying for two children's fee is really hard for me.
yeah,
So at that time, I was thinking like, what should I do? How should I do?
mm,
Luckily, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, maybe Allah heard me.
yeah,
Allah knew my intention, real
yeah,
need, and
yeah.
then
And it's, you know,
I
the
thought
most,
of Zubeda welcome, and then since then, at
yeah,
least this madrasa fee, really making me,
huge difference. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, this is not the first time, but it never stops feeling this good is whenever I hear a parent tell me what you just said, which is I made a dua and then I heard about Zubeda Welcome. It's
yeah,
literally like Allah has chosen Zubeda Welcome as the answer to somebody's dua. And it's the most powerful, most amazing feeling because everything that your children are learning is like sadka jarya for anyone who supported you,
yes, of
right?
course.
Because this is
Mhm.
not just me doing this by myself. I have like a team who supports me now. You know, when we supported Sister Wafa's family, it was different. It was the 50 children that we supported the 5 years. And that time I was doing this by myself. But since then we've grown and alhamdulillah, we have now identified 700. So it takes a whole team and I have so many people supporting us financially, through volunteering, through all kinds of ways. And even the madrasas, we only had 8 before, and now we have 52 that we have onboarded, right? So every single
Yes.
madrasa, every community, it's sadqa jariyah for everyone. Every single word, every syllable that your children are learning, subhanallah,
Yeah,
it's
after I came
sadqa.
here,
Yeah,
started my madrasa from with my children. For until half year, I have been paying myself,
yeah,
But
yeah. You were
literally
struggling.
after after half year, I just really I was already at the edge.
Mm,
I really cannot provide that,
yeah,
and even
yeah,
now I'm working
yeah,
still
yeah. It's
for
a
in
struggle.
terms of the fee.
Yeah.
I'm still
And
struggling.
And I have to mention, because we do get a lot of criticism from people, from others who are British, Muslims, and saying, well, we're British, we're not refugees, but we can't afford it either. And actually, it's a good point because there really should be something done about this. And this is something I talk about a lot as well, is that we as an ummah need to really invest more time, more money, more focus on providing a really good education for our children as a
Yes.
whole, so
Mhm.
that we can all as an ummah pass on this legacy of our faith in the best way, but also create some sort of a structure where a system where we are paying the people, but maybe it doesn't necessarily have to come from families who can't afford it. Do you know what I'm saying? So the
Yes.
teachers get paid, everything's getting paid, but it doesn't have to come from the people who don't afford it. There should never be a waiting list. It's heartbreaking when we start getting bigger and I realized there's so many waiting lists everywhere. How could you put a child on a waiting list who's saying, I want to learn Quran? A child is literally saying, I want to learn Quran. Okay, sorry, we don't have the space. We'll put you on a waiting list. The 1 year goes by, 2 years, 3, 4 years, and then this child has grown up and maybe found other friendships and other connections somewhere else to turn. Really, this should never happen. This should never happen. And so, even as an ummah, what we would love to see in our vision in the future is that this becomes a charity that supports all children in need who cannot afford, you know. But one of the points I want to say about with asylum seekers and refugees, in particular the asylum seekers who are living in hotels, is that for them it's not just that they can't afford it, but it's that they don't have a sense of community. They have no connection. They have been through trauma. They have come here and they are like now at the mercy. They are vulnerable. They're at the mercy of anyone who comes to them. And if it's going to be the church, they will turn to the church because they need help, right? So we as a ummah, Muslims, need to reach out to them and prioritize them so that that doesn't happen because they have lost everything. A lot of them, including yourselves, have lost so much already. Loved ones, their family, their home, their freedom, everything is lost. And now they come here and they are at the risk of losing their iman as well. Like that's heartbreaking. So that's the difference between a British Muslim who can't afford it and a refugee and asylum seeker family who who was not able to afford it. And we do our due diligence. As you all both know, you had to do our application form. We're getting better and better at this. So we have an application form to check who can and cannot afford it. And obviously, as more years pass, we are starting to reduce this funding and the support that we're giving families. Unfortunately, this is we're so limited, and that's why we're needing so much support. Is the more support we get, whether it's through free places from madrasas, not charging us, whether it's donations so that we can pay the fees that we need to pay. This is paramount so that we can help more, that we don't have to turn away families. So yeah, it's really, what we're talking about today is very, very, very important. Um, and I'm really glad you made those points as well. I just wanted to say, was there anything either of you would like to talk about in terms of something we haven't mentioned already? This is a really important time to make your point, that any important points that you might have, Sister Wafa or Sister Nisa, any messages you want to send to listeners?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to say, sorry, Sister Nisa. I would like to say
Okay.
thank you
Go
so
ahead.
much for Zubeda Welcome for supporting us, and I hope every children have the support they need and got uh, everything like as my children. Thank you for
Yeah.
everything.
Well, and from the scale of 1 to 10. Now, this is a question I'd like to ask you for now. Like, what from 1 to 10? How fearful are you now, Sister Wafa, that your children will leave Islam?
Uh, Zero.
0. Oh, mashallah, that's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, zero.
And why do you say that?
Because now I have lots of Islamic communities. I have seen and I have been meet them, and my children have lots of Islamic friends, and just because of you, because of madrasa, because Zubayda will come supporting, and every year my children get I think it's more confident,
Yeah.
and for us as well, for
Yeah.
parents.
I have actually witnessed this because I've known your family for years now. And I mean, I never would have thought you would be here doing this live radio show or even coming on Islam Channel doing the program with us. That was amazing. Where do you see your children like maybe 2, 3 years? Where would you like to see them? What is your future hope now? I know you had dreams for them before. Are you able to dream again?
I have two different ages.
Yeah.
I have two is like teenagers, and I have two like 9 years and down.
Mm.
uh, I can see my children in future, inshallah, for uh, what they need, and inshallah they will be good people, and good like inshallah, maybe I think like Noor and Yusuf
Mm.
can share this what they,
Experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
their experience for other children.
Alhamdulillah, this is I'm seeing a lot from our families. The children have always said, in any time we've interviewed them, is they want to either build a madrasa for refugees or they want to be speakers and talk about the situation of refugees and support
Yes,
them with the Islamic
inshallah.
education,
Inshallah.
inshallah. So I really, it's very, very amazing. It's amazing to hear that from them, that we are empowering them to be future leaders in charities and charitable work and giving back to others. And this is exactly why I named Zubeda, welcome after my mother, because my mother was the same. The experience of our upbringing and challenges is what inspired me to set up this charity to help others. And we just need more and more of this domino effect where it's just being passed on and passed on, passed on. And inshallah, we will get there. Now,
Inshallah.
I'd like to ask you, Sister Nisa, the same question on a scale of 1 to 10. How fearful are you now?
I would say four.
Fear, yeah. So you still have
Yes.
a little bit of fear, but it's a lot less. What is
Yeah,
what is
unlike Sister Wafa, my children are not going to Arabic school,
Yes. Okay.
because they are going from 8 to 4 o'clock. They are still going to Christian schools,
Mm, mm,
and then the rest of the days, and then I inspire them to learn Islam more. So, but
yeah.
most of their time are still spending
Yeah.
in another environment. So I
Yeah.
cannot
You can't
guarantee that.
control it. You can't control it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I need to be honest,
Mm,
but yeah, as I said, it was 8 before, but now
yeah.
it's 4. So
Yeah.
half of it is already go down. And then
Alhamdulillah.
just now you mentioned that is there any other point that we haven't mentioned in our program? I have one point which is really important, and I wanted to be honest. For uh, because I'm Uyghur Muslim, and we can see that from my own experience, we can see that there are a lot of other charity organizers. I'm not talking bad about others. Yeah, I'm just sharing my own
Your
experience.
reflections. Yeah.
Yes, there are a lot of charity organizations. They have been using Uyghur name. They call help Uyghur orphans. Or our other topics or our other names, but they are using Uyghur name to collecting a lot of charity from people. And from some sisters, I've heard that, oh, we have donated this organization, that organization, but about Uyghurs, like for Uyghurs. But to be honest, I have a lot of connection with the Uyghur organization all around the world, and individually, I haven't seen any actual help assist that they have been given.
Right.
So, but for me, from I also had the same. When
Mm,
I came here, I first of all I reached out to one of the organizations here who
mm,
already had a lot of knowledge about Uyghur Muslims.
mm.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get support. But
Right. Yeah.
what I wanted to say now
Mm,
is I want our Muslim brothers and sisters, when you donate, please ask around. Please
yeah.
know
Check.
what kind of places or what kind of people that you are
Mm,
spending your money.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh,
So
I'm not
important,
I'm not
especially now in
praising.
Ramadan. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not praising Zubeda Welcome here because of this
Yeah.
program. I'm telling the truth that if you really care about Islam and the future of Islam, I think better to invest in children's Islamic
Yeah.
education,
Yeah.
so that we our children really can
Mm,
retain their
yeah.
iman.
And,
And
and
this
and they
is my
don't,
point.
yeah, and they don't forget who the provider is, who a razak is, who is the one who can heal
Yes,
them, who is the one that can provide for them, who
yes.
can open the doors for them. That how will they make their duas if they don't know who they're making the
Sometimes
duas
I sit
to? Yeah.
here and when I imagine, like, how if I couldn't provide my children's madrasa fee, like since 2 years ago
Mm,
until now,
yeah.
what will be my children like? Of
Yeah.
course, I
Yeah.
am a mother who is always dedicating all my
Yeah.
time and my energy on my children, but it's
Yeah.
totally different environments. They
Yeah.
need to be in the Muslim
Muslim
environment, Muslim
environment. Yeah. So
community.
we're going to end with that because I'm looking at the time. We've got 44 seconds. I cannot
Mhm.
believe how quickly this show has gone. We will definitely have to do this again. And please do remember the most powerful hadith of all. The most beloved to Allah are those who are beneficial to others. Make others happy, remove their troubles, remove their burdens. the most important thing. And remember that on this blessed day of, in the 27th day of Ramadan, may Allah bless you all. And thank you so much, Sister Wafa. You have been listening to
Thank you so much, Sister
Sister
Asma.
Lisa as well. You have been listening to Ramadan FM 87.7. Thank you for joining us.